Big Cardano news coming out of Japan today. Did you see it? Many people wondering, is ADA price going to break out based on this news? We're going to break it all down in this video. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. Let's jump into the Cardano video. This is the move. There was a breakout. There was a very slight little ADA breakout based on the news that broke. I'm going to talk about that news because it's actually very, very cool. But this is a perfect technical setup, especially with the integration of this news piece acting as a catalyst to a very, very important thing happening on the 6-hour chart. And I'm going to break that down in this video. It's really the main thing I wanted to talk about besides the actual news. Cardano finally getting listed in Japan. Earlier today, Sebastian, CTO at DC Spark, said that ADA has finally been approved for listing on a Japanese crypto exchange and explained why it's a big deal. According to Sebastian, it's not easy for crypto assets to gain regulatory approval for the purpose of getting listed on crypto exchanges. And that is why only a relatively tiny number of crypto assets have been approved so far. And you can see it: Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum. Small list of cryptos getting listed on Japan exchanges. So it goes on. And by the way, the exchange listing is Bitpoint, and they announced it today. It'll be end of August, so it's not listed right now. It's end of August listing. This is the best part of the article, though. As for the Cardano project, Bitpoint said that because it is designed with high scalability, it is expected that many dApps, distributed applications, will be developed and used by the introduction of smart contract technology that will be implemented in the future, and further growth of the ecosystem and protocol will be achieved. Further growth of the ecosystem and protocol will be achieved. This is why, and let me give a little pound to Bitpoint, because so many big players in the crypto space just sleeping on Cardano, ignoring it, almost purposely so. So I like that Bitpoint, this big news getting listed. It's a significant event getting listed in Japan for Cardano, but Bitpoint just perfectly highlighting what's going on here. The growth of the ecosystem that's about to happen, and also just the fact that smart contracts getting ready to launch. They're recognizing the significance of Cardano protocol. They're recognizing the significance of the infrastructure that has been built by IOHK and the scalability issues that will be solved in the crypto space. They're actually right here highlighting that and displaying that. And I think it's huge because so many people are just really ignoring it. And I wanted to point that out because that was my favorite part of the article. So the question is, what's up with price? Every time there's news, every time there's good news, there should be a price pump, right? Not necessarily, and actually often is the case that it's not. But if we're looking at, I want to start here on the weekly, and this is a big part of it. And I know you're like, well, what's going on in the short term? The weekly is a big part of it because on the weekly chart, we have this 20-week moving average we've been talking about. It's right around $1.40. And that $1.40 area is such a crucial area of resistance for Cardano. And this news allowed Cardano to start making its way back up to that area once again. And we're going to look at what that looks like on the 6-hour. One thing to note on this weekly chart, though, we're going to continue to monitor the similarities of what we have going on here to what has happened or what did happen back here, September, October, November, into the bull market entry, because there's a lot of similarities on these charts right now on the weekly as we get ready to go into smart contracts. That's what this green rectangle is. It's our hard fork rectangle. We had the Mary hard fork back here, Shelly, and now we have Alonzo. So let's dig into the daily as we start zooming in on these charts. Good to note, we're above the 50-day moving average right now, right around $1.30. It's a few cents above. Not much separation, and it could go either way today, especially when we start looking at things like Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin kind of breaking to the downside, target to the downside, right slightly below $35,000. Keep an eye on that because a lot of that will impact Cardano price. So going back to the daily on Cardano, I want to just point this out. The convergence of these moving averages, the 50-day, the 20-day, the 200-day, we're getting ready for something big to happen. It's going to happen. Cardano price getting squeezed right now between massive consolidation, all-time high 250, this crazy swing low below $1 right after. Cardano's just been consolidating right in the middle, and the convergence of those moving averages is very similar to what we saw back at this September, October, November area. Look at these moving averages squeezing together before the breakout to the upside. It's not a guarantee we're going to get a breakout to the upside. So you want to be very careful on these Cardano charts. Plan wisely, plan accordingly for all scenarios to play out. Now let's dig into the whole short-term move that's happened right now. So Japan listing news got released today, and we got this small move to the upside, and Cardano tested another key area. And this is a story on the 6-hour. Lower highs across the board every time, Cardano failing. If we're going to speak bluntly, and we're going to really just go at this technical analysis and not have any bias, this is Cardano failing on the 6-hour with these lower highs. So what that looks like is very simple. We've been talking about this. The swing high that we had on this midterm chart, July 4th, to the swing low, Cardano, we've been waiting and tracking. We just did a video on this the other day. This resistance area, this 786 line right around $1.39, $1.40. Remember, go back to the weekly chart, that 20-week moving average right around $1.40. So there is so much resistance there. Cardano failed. And not only did it fail, and we wicked slightly above on the 6-hour, it pretty much failed right below it again. And this was July 31st, right here failing. So the first time it failed was July 25th. Then we put in another lower high. And now look at this, another lower high, all in the short term. So check this out. Let's mark our 786, our 618, and we'll mark it on both sides because I'm gonna delete this Fibonacci, because if we're looking at what's happening, we know on the midterm, on the macro, even Cardano failing at lower highs, right? And this is what it looks like at this lower high resistance. You can see it. Those green lines is the lower high, 786 to 618. Now, in between that story being told, Cardano also failing on the very short term at lower high. So we had the swing high to swing low, and check this out. Cardano failing at this lower high, Fibonacci barely breaking the 786 and coming back down. So there's a lower high. From that lower high to this swing low, and we're really short term, probably better illustrated on the hourly, but here we are on the 6-hour. Look at this. Cardano, 786, touch, fail, 618, not even getting a 6-hour above the 618 anymore, around $1.34. And the 786, I should note, $1.36. So $1.34 to $1.36 resistance on the short term, Cardano just failed at, even amidst this Japan listing news. So right now, Cardano, and it's not surprising if we're looking at this, this is a couple lower highs, Cardano forming structure in between these midterm resistance areas, that original Fibonacci resistance that we've been tracking for days now. So the structure that's being formed right now, just to me, looks like this symmetrical triangle. We still have these higher lows. We haven't broken that trend in this short-term chart extending from the end of July, and really from when we kind of came out of the dollar range, still putting in higher lows. But right now we are getting kind of very close to the apex of this symmetrical triangle that you see on the screen. So apex, right around, I don't know, this isn't perfect, but in a week or so, probably the apex forming of the symmetrical triangle. Cardano right around 70% or so, probably to the apex. So we look for breakouts at around 70%. So when you're looking at the short-term chart on the 6-hour, you're seeing the structure, you're seeing Cardano squeezed on this 6-hour into the apex, and then you're looking at the convergence of these moving averages on the daily chart. Something big is likely getting ready to happen, something significant at least, and significant could be really one of two things. Here's our Fibonacci midterm lower high resistance. So coming off of this lower high, is Cardano going to fail here? And are we going to come down and hit a target out of the symmetrical triangle, failing at this lower high? Or is Cardano going to make a break out of that symmetrical triangle, break the 786 line around $1.40, simultaneously breaking the 20-week moving average around $1.40 as well? And that's what I'm tracking, but it's getting very close for something like that to happen. Time will tell. Let's see. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.